while you're on a 4-inch wide beam.
We've seen some impressive results from the Americans. Zmeskal, Aquino, of course Shannon Miller.
That was an awesome routine by Betty. She must be feeling really great right now. She hit a rock-solid beam routine, and beam is one of the hardest events. Any gymnast will tell you it'll make you or break you. She's got it over with now.
15,000 certainly loved it here at the Hoosier Dome. Mirela Pasca from Romania on the uneven bars.
It was a nice Ginger release move. She's working really well. That was a Tkachev. As you can see, her coach is standing in there behind her. That is just a safety precaution in case something happens. Full in dismount, a little hop in the ending, but it was great routine.
Our next competitor is Stella Ume on the uneven bars. She was 13th after the opening rotation.
Yes, vault was her first rotation. It's her strongest event, and here she's coming into her weakest event.
Why is that?
Stella's a strong person. She's a power person. She's not a swinger, but she does a great job considering. Her release move was a Tkachev, giant full, right into a double twist. Little hop in the ending, but a great job by Stella considering. Alex Bard, her coach, he's pleased with that routine. So he should be.
Svetlana Bogunskaya, 4th after the opening rotation on the floor.
The thing to watch with Svetlana is the incredible feeling she puts into her routines. Every move has feeling and a meaning behind it. Little low with her chest on that full in. She's probably the most innovative dancer here.
She has a doll collection, and she uses the flexibility of those dolls to work out new moves. Obviously, some of this works in her floor exercise.
Yes, I remember seeing Svetlana a little while ago. She used to take Barbie dolls, and before she would go up on the event, she would put them through the routine, sort of as to psych her up. And it seems to work for her. Round off 1.5 into a round up back handspring, double back.
She's also the first competitor on the floor we've seen using little classical music as opposed to something more upbeat.
Yes, that's normal for the Russians. It's a typical Russian thing. They have much more feeling and presentation. They don't really use the boppy kind of music. Well, a very dramatic routine by Svetlana Bogunskaya. Should move her up a couple notches in the standings.
Sitting in number 1 spot is Kim Zmeskal of the United States on the uneven bars.
Kim's first release move. Ginger, a little bit of split in her legs.
What will that cost her in terms of points?
Usually those cost about 1/10, providing the judges can see it from their angle. Double pike dismount, nailed landing.
The crowd loves it. Bela Karolyi loves it. And he, of course, coached Nadia Comaneci in 1976, Mary Lou Retton in 1984. Svetlana Bogunskaya making her move from 4th to 2nd place. 3 Americans in the top 10. Karolyi does not want to see Zmeskal lose her intensity, prepping for rotation number 3, which is upcoming. Romania no longer with a dominant star on the world gymnastics scene, trying to build a team. Perhaps with this youngster, Lavinia Milosevici. She's on the floor. She's 10th after the first 2 rotations.
Now, if you watch her first tumbling line, you'll notice it's probably the most difficult tumbling line in this competition. It's a combination pass of back tumbling and front tumbling. Round up back handspring, whip back handspring, full in, back out, right into a punch front. She's chosen to use Romanian type music, which suits her very well.
Any similarities between her and the great Nadia Comaneci?
I'm not so sure. Nadia was a different type of gymnast as the gymnasts today are. Nadia was more of a stylish, happy-go-lucky kind of gymnast. These are trickster gymnasts.
Is that what the judges are looking for more these days, tricks as opposed to the classic?
I think in the last couple years they had been looking for tricks, and now within this year they're starting to look for a little more dance with presentation along with the difficult tumbling. Coming up with their last tumbling line. Barely even runs. Full in, back out. Nailed. It's a nice routine. Let's see what the judges do with it.
It's too bad that the crowd didn't react as much to it as they perhaps should have. Svetlana Bogunskaya. Her name means goddess in Russian.
Same vault as Zemeskal. Nailed Yurchenko layout full. She just has incredible push-off off the horse, which helps her landing.
Our first look at Japan's Mari Kosugi.
Watch this mount. Round off layout onto the beam. Incredibly difficult because it's blind. You can't see where you're going to land. 1, 2, 3 standing layouts in a row.
A rising star on the gymnastics scene. This is her first appearance at the Worlds.
If you watch Mari, her difficulty is tremendous. However, her lines aren't as polished as, say, the Russians or the Chinese.
Is that inexperience or training?
I think mainly it's just the body type that she has. If you look at her knees never straighten fully. Whereas a lot of the gymnasts here have hyperextended knees, so it makes hers look that much more bent.
Are they coached that way?
It's not that she's coached that way. She's probably told every day to tighten her knees, but they just don't go that far. Handspring layout 2 feet into a back handspring jump. That's required. Setting up for a dismount now. Round off, full in, back out. A little bit low on the landing though. She should be pleased with that.
The coaches certainly are. We've seen Kosugi on the beam. Now it's Stella Ume.
Stella's first tumbling line is so difficult. It's combination, back handspring layout 2 feet, back handspring layout, step out, nailed.
It isn't tough enough to land on a 4-inch beam. Certainly the pain involved in whether it's the back or the feet.
No, the body is so tight on the beam and you're so nervous and that adrenaline is pumping so hard, you don't feel a thing.
Do you feel it after?